What's up, everybody? It's your girl Maliyah, and I am your founder, creator, and curator for all things AINC Media. And today I am going to be your host for a new segment we like to call The Objective Perspective. And today I want to talk to you about something that we all know, we all love. It's a show, and it's one of our favorites. And recently it's been making, I would say, a resurgence, across social media. So many people have been talking about this, or at least they've been talking about it on my feed. Honestly, they haven't stopped talking about it since the show came out. And I was a little tardy to the party. I mean, forgive me. I was a little late, you know what I'm saying? But I made it. And once I did, I was just as obsessed as everybody else. I don't necessarily consider the cult following. I definitely feel like it was more so mainstream, maybe at least black mainstream. But if you're not, you can still join the party and we're gonna talk about it and we're gonna have us a good time because now that it's over and it's been a few years and the dust has settled, we can tell the truth. Or at the very least, we can be objective in our perspective. And so the show that I'm talking about is none other than the beloved Insecure. Ooh, come on, cue Jasmine Sullivan. Ooh. Sorry, y'all. If if the computer keeps shaking, if for whatever reason you guys see the screen shaking, bear with us. We're just starting. We are new. We are on a laptop, and I like to move. So the desk might get hit. I gotta stem a little bit. But hey, that's the beauty of being on YouTube. You ain't gotta be perfect from the start, And we just started. We document this on the DJI. Let me just say this real quick before we get into it. Okay. Let me keep my time. I wonder I'm gonna have to let me keep my time because did y'all know that your first YouTube video, we're learning together. Did y'all know that your first YouTube video can only be 15 minutes long? As of now, they might change it soon, but as of today, that is September 10th, 2025, your very first YouTube upload cannot be longer than 15 minutes. So we are going to have to pace ourselves and we are going to give ourselves, because we've been yapping just a little bit, 8. Now, we might go back, and this might be out of order. I might do an episode introducing what this is, or maybe this will be a pilot episode, a test episode, and then we'll go back and introduce it. But again, the show that we are talking about today is none other, dag nabbit, I have to go back and now find it. Insecure, right? Shout out to IssaRae, the beloved, beautiful, smart, funny, ever talented IssaRae. Stand her around these parts. We stand. All right. So shout out to the original poster, Amber Marie Green. She says her post basically says she needs a break from her work desk and she ready to start a fight and she was ready to argue about some stuff on Insecure or about Insecure that she saw on Instagram. So first one, this is going to be broken up into segments just because we do have a time frame to keep, and as of now, I really hope I press start. I did. We got 6 minutes. So if you like it and you're here with me, bear with me and follow me to part two because we gonna get into it. But we gotta obey the time limit. And I know I'm yapping, so I can't really get into it the way I want to get into it. But we gotta start. We gotta start somewhere, y'all. We gotta start somewhere. Okay, dang. All right. So first things first. Maturing is realizing Issa was toxic and wrong to cheat on Lawrence, even though he didn't have a job for 2 years. She had plenty of time to leave. Okay, now the goal of this segment is to be as objective as possible on both sides, really, because objectivity is not necessarily to place the blame on either party. It is simply to acknowledge and recognize what both sides or where both sides may have gone wrong and what they could have done better. So, first, we'll start with Issa, right? Why not? Easiest bait. Let's start with Issa. So, was she toxic and wrong to cheat on Lawrence? I mean, objectively, yes. Objectively, ultimately, yes. Cheating is always going to be wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Simple as that. Yes. Yes. Yeah, she was. I mean, she was. She was toxic and she was wrong. However, objectivity can change once the truth further comes to light. So, if you've watched the show and you understand more about the characters, you understand more about the dynamic of their relationship at that time, you begin to grasp the fact that cheating was a last resort, you know? Cheating was a last resort in addition to it being a wake-up call for Issa, at least. I mean, obviously it was a wake-up call for Lawrence too, because he was ready to go. But for Issa, cheating was a last resort because she really did love Lawrence. Like throughout the entire season, throughout the entirety of the series, rather, all 5 seasons, like her love for Lawrence never wavered. Like their chance encounters or even just an inkling that they could be in the same space or were at the same space at the same time, like was ever present throughout the show. Like them being tethered together, despite not being together over those 5 years, kind of proved that they had still had some type of unresolved feelings. So was she wrong and toxic to cheat? Yes. However, it was kind of what she had to do to save the relationship overall, if you believe that they were truly in game, which I have a whole different perspective on me personally. I have a completely different perspective on the ending of Insecure, and I understand what IssaRae said. I hear her, I hear it. I hear you, IssaRae, but also I don't watch that show enough. I know Issa D, and I know that there was some other stuff that you left out of there, you know? So that's that. Now, I think I'm going to end it right here. I'm going to look at where we at. Okay, 3 minutes. Basically, yeah, we'll wrap it up with Issa, or we'll continue over at part two by saying, was Issa wrong and toxic to leave? Objectively, on the surface, yes. Objectively, as we delve deeper into what was really going on, I say no. Just because there was a lot. Issa was carrying a lot. She spent what they were together for, what was it, 3 years, 5 years? It was 5 years, 4 years. I think it was 5 years, and they said he didn't have a job for the last two or something like that. So you gotta understand, she went into it, and they're not married. She's still young, so there is technically still time in the beginning, right? If this wasn't gonna work out. So they've been together 5 years. They're not engaged. They're not married. They just been together in a relationship for 5 years. And the very last two, the tail end, weren't that great. He didn't have a job. He wasn't looking for a job. He was depressed and didn't want to acknowledge that he was depressed, right? She said he didn't want to have sex. He didn't want to talk to her sometimes. He forgot her birthday. Let's not forget that. On the very first episode, it was her birthday. He didn't tell her till she came home that evening, like it was almost like, oh yeah, hey, and he didn't get her anything. I'm pretty sure that he did forget. He didn't get her anything. And the one thing that she wanted to do, which is go out to eat, he didn't want to do. Why? It's not like you had to get up early for work, sir. You don't have a job. Like, and it ain't like you had to be, maybe it was like some type of man thing. Like, he didn't want to go out to eat, parade with her friends, like everything was okay. He didn't want to fake it, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because all of his friends were doing very well for themselves. He was the only one whose career hadn't really taken off. And even though she wasn't necessarily where she wanted to be in her career, she still was basically footing the bills. So she went through a lot. She was dating this guy for 3 years. Things looked up, and all of a sudden he loses his job. He become a couch potato. He become depressed. She's in a sexless relationship. She doesn't know if it's going to lead to marriage. She don't know if anything's ever going to change. But she still loves him. She still really loves him. But right now, he's not really loving himself too good. So what do you do to, you know, just kind of sever that tie or tie that knot even tighter? And for her, that decision was sleeping with Daniel. Now, it might have been the wrong decision at the time, but throughout the entirety of the show, again, we see how that one decision kind of tethers their relationship together. So, objectively, yes. Also, objectively, no. So, if you like this and you want to see more, stay tuned for part two because we will be getting more and more and more into the beauty that is the show Insecure. I've been your host, Maliyah. I'll see you next time on the Objective Perspective.